I've been talking to some parents of teens and I asked them what their greatest challenges are that they face with their teens over the summer. And I found there was a common thread. The greatest concern was social media and trying to get their teens off their gadgets. They said their teens didn't want to do anything, yet they just wanted to stay in their room and they complained of being bored. So I've been thinking about this, and I thought that I would do a presentation and offer some possible ideas that you could try with your family over the summer to help them get more involved in some meaningful summer activities. So I'm just going to go to my screen. So what I'm going to be talking about today is how to motivate your teens to get them off the couch this summer and spend less time on their gadgets. Teens need a reason to get off the couch. I don't believe they choose to be lazy and unproductive on purpose. They just don't know what they want, where they're going, or why they even need to go anywhere. They don't have much of a plan. And I believe if parents help them with more direction, challenge them to explore possibilities, and contemplate some meaningful summer activities that they can get excited about, I think that this will make a big difference. So I'm going to be popping off for a bit and giving you my full screen, just so I think that's going to be better so you can see my screen. Let's use an analogy of following a map and going somewhere. You can't follow a map if you don't know where you're going. You need to have a destination. You can't follow a map if you don't know where you are. You need to have a starting point. And you can't follow a map if you don't know how to follow a map. You need to have a plan with details of how to get there. And also, you're more likely to get there if you know why you're going there, right? You need to have a reason. You won't even start if you don't have a reason. Who wants to travel anywhere without a reason? That just doesn't make any sense. So what's this got to do with your teen? To get off the couch, your teen needs a reason, a destination, a starting point, and a plan. The reason is the why, the purpose, their internal motivation, what makes them excited, that spark that gets them going. Then they'll have a clearer picture of their possibilities and their destination, where they're going. Once they have their reason and their destination, this will be the starting point, and then can now begin their plan. Their plan is when they set up their plan with details of how to get there, and now they can jump into action. How do we get them into action? How do we help them find their reason? And these are really good questions. Self-exploration leads to a reason, which leads to a destination, which leads to action. Self-exploration is about helping them to discover what they want, learning more about themselves, what motivates them, what do they care about. It's stretching their thinking and helping them to think on a deeper level. So how do we help them with self-exploration? And I'm going to be speaking about these three different things today: questions, brainstorm ideas, and a plan. We need to ask them questions. We need to get curious so we get a glimpse of what they really care about. Firstly, when we ask questions, we genuinely need to be interested in hearing them. And secondly, we need to listen with empathetic understanding, because you want to invite relationship. We want a clearer picture of what they want. Then we will avoid making false assumptions or jumping to conclusions about what we think that they want. And then brainstorming. This is a wonderful way to help our children be encouraged to tap into their ideas, to express their creativity, which is a natural part of who they are. And in the plan, it's important that they know how to plan their next steps so that they can achieve their summer goals. And today I'm going to be showing you a tool, and I have a PDF that I have to offer you, and I'll tell you a little bit more about how you can get that at the end of this presentation. Questions and self-discovery will help them with a greater self-awareness, help them uncover their values and heart motivations, challenge them to think on a deeper level, to discover new ideas to experience. And as you brainstorm ideas together, you're helping them think of options that they hadn't thought of before. and to feel more accomplished at the end of the summer. I don't believe that teens do not want to feel accomplished or productive. I believe they do want to make a difference because they are looking for meaning and how to make an impact. They just need more direction and encouragement. So the first point, I'm going to be showing you some questions. There's quite a lot of questions on this next slide, and I'm going to be speaking more about those. Make sure when you ask questions, they're open-ended questions because you want them to think beyond themselves. But be careful of making it sound like interrogation. You're not going to sit them down and ask them all these questions. That's not how it works. These are just examples of how you can go about it. Remember, you're being curious and you're listening with empathetic understanding. You don't want to criticize or pass judgment because you want to create space for them to share openly. So possible questions. Look back at last summer. How did you grow? What new skills did you learn? What frustrated you? How different do you want this summer to be compared to last summer? So you're getting them to think on a deeper level and comparing last summer and how do they want that to be different. What things, projects, or activities do you wish you had more time for, but you never seem to get down to it? How are you looking to grow as a person this summer? What have you secretly always wanted to try, but just never had the courage? If nothing was standing in your way, describe a picture of your ideal summer. Now you might think, well, if I ask my son that question, he's just going to tell me he wants to be on social media all day, watch movies, and eat popcorn. Well, if that's the case, ask him another question. So what's the best part about that? And then ask him, what would make your summer even better? So now you're getting him to really think about it. Well, gee, I thought that was my best ideal summer. How can I make it better? And you just get him thinking, and he might think, well, after a week or 2 or 3 of that, I feel very unproductive. I just kind of feel lazy. I don't feel very good about myself. Perhaps there are some other things I could be doing. So you're just getting him to think. What are some of the drawbacks and frustrations of your ideal summer? Just another possible question to ask. If you had this summer to come up with a solution to a problem, how would you plan your summer? What do you care deeply about? What is your biggest concern? So just listen carefully, be curious, open up the channels of communication, help them to feel free to share openly with you. Then you can start brainstorming. So after you've asked some questions and you've got some ideas, you can brainstorm together. And this is pretty much just taking turns and sharing ideas of possible suggestions and possible options. Brainstorming is a great way to just have that partnership. It's about working together, opening up channels of communication, which is also improving relationships. And ideas feed off each other. This creates a lot of excitement as you share and feed up one another's ideas. So get the energy and momentum going to spark more ideas. And then ownership. This is very powerful because they're generating their own ideas. They're participating in solutions. And when they have ownership, they're more likely to follow through and get excited. So instead of planning out their summer for them, deciding where they should go, what they should do because of reasons of your own, help them plan their own summer. Help them to create a plan that is in alignment with their values, their goals, and their interests. It makes it more exciting for them. It makes it more real and more meaningful. And when you're questioning them and you're being curious and you're brainstorming together, you're actually coaching your teen. Instead of advising them or telling them what to do, you're actually helping your teen tell themselves what to do. Trust their own advice, find their own solutions. This is also improving emotional intelligence. And you're communicating acceptance and trust. And you're showing them that you do have confidence in their abilities. You're also giving them more independence to think outside the box and to think about what is meaningful to them. And these things are all really important for their journey into adulthood. And now that they have ideas, you brainstorm together, they want to put a plan in action. And I'm going to be showing you a tool, and this is going to be a step-by-step visual plan that's going to help them to create their goals. plan their action steps, and follow through with accountability. It's a great tool because they can visually see their progress. It gives them more direction and helps them to be more proactive as they think ahead in planning out what needs to be done. And this is the tool that I have, and I have this on PDF. And these are just examples of what it may look like. Obviously, your teen is planning out this. These are their ideas. These are their actions. And they're taking complete ownership of this. So the one way I've done this is under activity, skill, or challenge. Basically, that is their goal. Those are their goals. A suggestion is helping them to maybe choose 5 new skills or activities to accomplish this summer. That could be an option. This all depends on what you brainstormed, the ideas that you come up with. But those teens who are still struggling to kind of work out what they need to do, that could be another possible option. Well, how about choosing 5 things, and those can be your goals for the summer? So let me just read out the activities that I have just to spark some ideas. 1 new skill or activity to learn, 1 family trip to organize, 1 volunteer activity to find, 1 new recipe to learn, 1 new book to read, 1 problem to solve, 1 character trait to work on, 1 social event to plan. So you could challenge them to choose a couple of those, or they would just do their own, as I said. So let's use an example. I'm not going to read all of them, but let's say they choose a new skill or activity to learn. I will learn how to draw 3 pencil drawings this summer. Then they need to set down their actions. Their actions are very important. They need to be as detailed as possible. So they need to buy supplies, sign up for lessons or learn online, and practice 3 hours a week. So it needs to be specific. And then there needs to be a time that they need to be doing that by. By when will I act? So you're going to be buying the supplies, doing all of these actions by a certain date. This just holds them accountable. And then another very important thing is making sure that they have reminders or support so that they follow through. And this is one of the biggest things that we forget about, where we have all these wonderful goals and we have these actions, but we don't actually have support in how we're going to follow through. When we do get to setbacks, and how we're going to set out things that are going to remind us to do those things. So it could be set reminders on my phone to practice on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. So it's also quite specific. How do I know I've accomplished my actions? I will show 3 drawings to my family by the end of summer. So there's specific, that's very specific, and then there's also a way of how you know when you've actually followed through. Let's use another example. 1 new book to read, and then you'll have different dates for different activities, for different actions. Find a book by a certain date, start reading by a certain date, and complete the reading by a certain date. And it's very specific. Let's take a look at the second last one in the activity column. Cook a meal once a week. Now, this is another idea just to show you what they might want to come up with. They may want to do an activity on a more regular basis, maybe once a week. So it could be an example of cooking a meal once a week. Every Friday evening, I'll prepare a meal. It may be I want to organize the family social once a week. That may be something that they'd be interested in doing. Or babysit for my neighbor once a week, whatever that looks like for them. And then with the reminders and support, just another point to point out to you is with this one, cooking a meal once a week, your teen will need mom or dad to put this on their calendar because they need to buy the groceries. They more than likely can't drive, so they need to make sure that whoever needs to help them with following through needs to be told. So it helps them with accountability, but also helps them to consider others and let mom know, because she needs to put that on her calendar. She needs to know that she doesn't have to cook every Friday night, which is also a wonderful thing for her. And then set reminders on my phone. How do you know you've accomplished this? Cook at least 10 meals over the summer. That's quite a good accomplishment. And then another example, new scary things to try. I will find 3 things I'm afraid of doing. Brainstorm possibilities, try thing 1, thing 2, and thing 3 with specific dates. Now this would look a bit different because when they do find those possibilities, they will then write new action steps for each of those things so that it's specific and they in detail so they can follow through. Reminders and support, ask Dad to hold me accountable and meet with me every week to check progress. Sometimes they may ask a family member to help support and remind them, and that just holds them accountable. I succeeded at trying 3 things that got me out of my comfort zone and helped with my fear. And this is great because it's, if you could encourage them to try things that are hard, that are outside their comfort zone, and just encourage them to think up these things so that you can help them with resilience, help them to find ways of pushing through when things are hard. And all those skills are really great for teens to learn. And what's great about this table is that they can come back and they can see how they're doing, what they still need to do. It's all very clear for them. They can also see when they've done it and they've ticked it off and succeeded. So ask them as well how they would like to celebrate once they've completed all their goals. What do they want that to look like? This also gives them a lot of motivation and encouragement to follow through. And it's also a wonderful way to get them off the couch. Just a word of caution here. If they don't always follow through, and they won't always follow through, be careful of negative comments. Encourage them, because when they don't follow through, this is a great opportunity for growth and for them to learn more about themselves. Just simply ask them a question. Well, what got in your way? What distracted you? And get them to think about what that was and how they can change their action and be more successful next time. Let them find their solutions. This is the ownership. This is where the power lies, because all of these are their own ideas, their own goals, their own actions. They have a much better chance of following through. So let them find ways of how they can make it better. So because these ideas are inspired by them, their goals are meaningful. They have created their summer plan. There's more intention, and they're more likely to get off the couch, spend less time on their gadgets, because they have a reason to get into action. And an intentional plan with meaningful goals also promotes leadership, helps them with critical thinking, planning ahead, setting their goals, and they learn wonderful life skills. It also improves resilience, helping them to know how to push through setbacks, how to use grit and determination to learn through doing hard things. It also produces empathy, helps them to think beyond themselves, thinking about the needs in the community and how they can volunteer or how they can provide meaning in someone else's life when their goals don't always focus around them. And then gives them more accomplishment. They are looking for meaning and purpose, so they want to feel successful. I hope that's been helpful to you. What I would like to also do is show you what summer programs I offer, so that if you do need more support with this, even if you perhaps need support with 1 or 2 sessions, just to help get your teen sort of on the right track and getting them to plan their summers, I'm very, very happy to help you out with that, even if it's just a session. But what I want to do is show you what my summer programs look like right now. And I have 6 sessions that I'm offering right now. And the first session will be focusing on self-awareness. And I'm going to be using a tool which is called the Wheel of Life. And this helps them to look at all the areas of their lives, to see where they need to grow in what areas, to see what areas they're neglecting and how they can find more balance. And this helps them to plan their goals. The second session I will explore strengths and personality. And this is a great session for them to learn more about themselves. Session 3, we explore purpose. Session 4, we look at values and vision and mission statements. Session 5, we talk about roadblocks and what holds them back, or how to get through those setbacks. It may be a limiting belief or changing perspectives in a certain situation, and how they're going to push through those things when things get tough. Session 6 kind of puts it all together, and from what they've explored and what they have learnt about themselves, they now can work out, okay, so now what are my goals from here? How do I proceed from here? How can I start living out my best self? And we explore all their options according to their values and their purpose. It may be looking for a job internship, it may be looking for their first job or business ventures, whatever is in line with what they are wanting and what their goals are. So you can go to my website and find out more under summer programs, and it's mylifecoach360.com. And just to let you know, if you're wanting this tool, I do have it as a free PDF, as I mentioned earlier. You can either send me an email and I'll send that out to you, or you can go to my website and you can subscribe to my newsletter. You will receive a different PDF to this one in the presentation. And this will be a PDF on giving you tools of how you can connect with your teens. What I will then do, probably by the next day, is send you the PDF for this presentation. If you don't receive it, please just pop me an email and then I can send that to you and make sure that you receive that. I'm actually very curious to know how these tools are going to be working for you this summer, and I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear success stories. I'd love to hear how it didn't work as well as you thought it would work, and just to get some feedback from you would mean so much to me. So send me an email of how this has worked. If you have any questions or just comments or suggestions, I'd love to hear from you. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful summer. Bye.